Hello everybody! I still haven't got any better editing software, I'm sorry. But I'm just making this video because I'm just in a really bad mood right now because I'm making this game that I was talking about in the last video, and it keeps getting corrupted and stuff. So some of these files I'm trying to open, and oh my god, it gets corrupted. I kind of lost 2 days of progress, and I keep getting these corrupted messages all the time, so I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to finish the game, which really annoys me. But anyways, I want to just talk about Zelda today, just to get in a little bit better mood. Okay, so we had this article talking a little bit about the next Zelda game, which I thought was really interesting. There are a few things they're talking about, like the size of the dungeons. And it says like one of the dungeons in the game are going to be bigger than the Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time. Okay, that sounds very impressive. Now, let's just break it down here, this whole article. First they're like talking about the art style of the game. It's going to be, which is kind of what I was not hoping, the game will be kind of like Skyward Sword in the art style. It'll have that cartoony look. You know, I kind of didn't like the cartoony look of Skyward Sword. At least that's what this game says. It's gonna be looking like Skyward Sword. I didn't like it. I liked the art style in Twilight Princess. I liked that a lot. And I liked the Wind Waker style. Did not like the style in Skyward Sword. But at least I think they can do it if at least they keep it really, really high def and stuff. So they're not like saying they're going to keep it really low definition. I thought in Skyward Sword they kept it cartoony as an excuse to keep it low def. So as long as they just keep it high def, as they say, that can be great. They say they have a really big development team for this game, like Grand Theft Auto style. You know, and you know there's coming out a new Grand Theft Auto game now. But that's really big, you know. I thought they didn't really aim that big with Skyward Sword. I liked the game, it was a really cool game, but I thought the game was kind of like, they aimed very low on that one. While with Twilight Princess they were like really, really high up. So hopefully with this game they're gonna aim really, really high, and I think that's gonna be good. I'm not sure this picture here, if this is like a fan art. Can anyone tell me what this is? I think this is just a fan art from Ocarina of Time. It looks like Ocarina of Time. There are no official images yet, but this is just sources from some person, some sort of insider or something. And yes, they're talking about the size of the dungeons. They're going to be really, really big, like about as big as Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Field. And they're going to be broken into 3 parts, a lot of them. So that can sound really interesting. HD graphics and same visual style as Skyward Sword. As in this picture here was like from E3 last year, or actually 2 years ago, and it looked really, really amazing. I mean, those graphics, if they could keep those graphics but with Skyward Sword style, it could end up looking really good. But of course, graphics are not everything, so I don't really care. You know, you shouldn't really care. And oh look, Havoc. It actually uses Havoc physics, so that's gonna be great, you know. I don't think any of this is 100% confirmed, but it sounds pretty legit, I would say. And it's the most innovative game ever, of course, they'll have to say that, you know. Each dungeon will offer a completely different gameplay experience with the tablet controller. And that sounds great. The game is actually built from ground up with the tablet controller. So, most likely the game will actually not be using the Wii Remote. And I'm actually really glad it's not going to be using that, because I was kind of a little tired of dildo wiggling. Now some people might say that you'll be able to either use the controller like this one, or the Wii Remote nunchuck. I don't think so. I think you'll only be able to use this one, because they say that the game is very, very much developed for this thing. That every aspect of the game, like probably like aiming and moving and stuff like that, it is all made for this controller. So I hope they kind of stay focused and use this controller all the way through. And also, the last thing I would like to talk about is when is the game scheduled for. It's scheduled for a 2014 release. And that sounds pretty good, I guess. I was actually expecting the game to come out a lot later, like in the very end of the life cycle of the Wii U, because, I remember a few months ago, they were like talking, we're going to make a new Zelda game for the 3DS, we still haven't started making one for the Wii U, and they were like talking, we're going to let Retro Studios develop the game, we're not sure who's going to, probably Retro Studios. We're not even sure what the game is gonna be about. Like, I'm like, what? The Wii U is almost out and you don't even know what the next Zelda game is gonna be about. And then I heard that this game has been in development since 2010. So they were pretty much lying when they said they didn't know what the game was going to be about. But I'm really glad the game has been in development since 2010 and will be out in 2014. Making it a 4-year project, and I think that's really, really good. That sounds great, So I'm really glad that the game has already been in development for a while. Man, I actually thought, Skyward Sword, even though I really did like that game, I thought the development standards for that game, it was a little bit, low. I mean, the game was... just considering how long it took to make Skyward Sword, I'm just surprised by just how low quality it is. I mean, it's a good game, but, I was expecting a lot more. And of course, Twilight Princess, I absolutely love this one. It's my favorite Zelda of all time. It's just, I know a lot of people didn't like the dark style of the game and stuff. And oh my god, look, this is the GameCube version. The rarest thing on earth. Man. So, yeah, I think the next Zelda is gonna be pretty good, and it's gonna have a lot of focus on the dungeons. They're gonna be really, really big, and they're gonna go kind of like with the formula of Skyward Sword. I actually thought the best part of Skyward Sword were the dungeons, so I think that sounds like a good direction for the series. I also hope they take some overworld inspiration from Twilight Princess, because this game had a much better hub world, overworld, or whatever you want to call it. The hub world in this game, didn't like it, the way it was split up in 3 pieces. Did not like that. So they both had their ups and downs, and hopefully they'll make a great Zelda game this time around. I mean, they've always done that, so yeah, been a few bad ones, but I think they're getting back up on their feet now. So yeah.